I'm Vince Menzione, the CEO of Ultimate Partner and the host of the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. We're on site today live at Google Cloud's Marketplace Exchange, interviewing partner leaders, driving success with Google's Marketplace, and how they're effectively utilizing the hyperscaler relationships and the role of the hyperscaler driving this new effective selling motion, working with hyperscalers, marketplaces, and effective co-selling, driving the change we are all seeing in this decade of the ecosystem. I hope you join us for these lively conversations. I'm Vince Menzione, the CEO of Ultimate Partner and the host of the Ultimate Guide to Partnering podcast. And I'm here with Russell Efird, the head of North American Partnerships at Quantum Metric. Russell, it's good to spend some time with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Vince.
Great to have you. We are at the Google Cloud Marketplace Exchange, and you were just on stage talking about the success that your organization is. Tell us about your session and what you covered.
Really was focused on sort of two things. The first is we spent a lot of time talking about the line of business buying habits and what we're seeing in the space there. Our economic buyer is almost always in the line of business. So we sell to chief digital officers, SVPs of e-commerce, head of product. And that's a different sales cycle than the traditional IT selling cycle. And it's also somewhat different than historically the way that Google Cloud has gone to market with their core services and cloud infrastructure. Right. So we talked about some best practices there. One of the things that we have learned is that these buying decisions, enterprise SaaS is not made in a vacuum anymore. That's right? And so we see deep IT involvement, deep engineering involvement, procurement, legal, obviously compliance, in addition to the line of business. And that's when the partnership really comes into play. Google has very often good relationships, right? So this is the intro part of the motion. They can help introduce us to people that are critical to our deal. Account intelligence is another key way. Google very often deeply embedded with technical and engineering teams and understands the big initiatives that those teams care about so that we can align our solution to that. And also influence. And this is another key area when we are attempting to sell across multiple lines of business. Partnership allows us to leverage Google's name recognition, Google initiatives to advocate for our deal, right? As we're building up that set of champions, looking for the key influencers, and then working, with the blockers and trying to get the deal done.
Yeah. It sounds like it's elevating the level of visibility of the deal as well, right? Because you're now at the cloud commitment level, at the C-suite level, with that CEO who's the new CIO and driving across the organization the right set of results.
That's right. And I think what's really interesting to me is I've seen this in the last sort of 9 to 12 months is, Google is in the C-suite talking about Gen AI, right? And so when we talk about elevating our platform to the C-suite, Gen AI is the ticket for you to get in the door, but then you have to turn that into the business problem that we're solving with Gen AI. And it's a great partnership where it's Google's technology, it's a lot of Google relationships and their knowledge of the industry with a solution that we bring in together.
I love that. And so for our viewers and listeners, right, they're in their planning cycle for 2025 right now. What advice would you give them on how to lean in for their success going into 2025? Perhaps doing a lot of what Quantum Metric has done here in partnering with Google Cloud.
I think that we have a massive opportunity to look at ISVs, hyperscalers like Google Cloud, and SIs. We've built this partnership out. It's reached a point of scale that's pretty incredible for a company of our size, but we can't just keep throwing resources and bodies to continue to build out the partnership, to get generation of pipeline, to get deals done. We have to think a little bit differently, and I think one of the areas of growth that we're looking at in particular for next year is how do we bring multiple ISVs together with Google and with services partners to build out things like integrated value networks, right? So you have technology and solutions coming from ISVs, all built on Google, with services partners coming in and building practices around that, and then taking it to motion or to market. So that's a key area of focus for us. So we're looking aggressively at building out our partnering motion, especially with services partners, and then bringing those things together. And I think Google is now at a great point in their maturity of both their go-to-market and their sales teams of being able to embrace these multi-partner motions.
Yeah, bringing out the ecosystem, right? You're sparking up the ecosystem even for your own organization and driving that along with Google.
Yeah,
So great to have you on today, Russell.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. For our listeners and viewers, check out Russell's podcast, and great to have you as a guest. Quantum Metric. What's your website?
Quantummetric.com.
Quantummetric.com. Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of The Ultimate Guide to Partnering, online at theultimatepartner.com, where you can find all of our amazing episodes. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and our new YouTube channel, The Ultimate Partner. Thank you for listening and supporting The Ultimate Guide to Partnering.